Hello friends, this video is all about the political science IAS mains questions analysis. Here I will discuss the previous year questions especially asked in last 5 years civil services main exams, specifically from 2013 to 2017. Based on CSE syllabus, here I have categorized the previous year questions topic-wise, which will benefit you in many ways as it helps you to understand the types of questions, that is, how question is being asked, and it will help you to understand what are the topics UPSC asks questions frequently. Helps you to understand the integrity of the question so that you can correctly answer. Helps you to understand what are the topics that you need to prepare thoroughly and what are the topics that you may put less emphasis. Last but not the least, helps you to learn correct answer writing technique in advance. Now, let's check out the previous year questions topic-wise. The topic is nationalism, and the questions that is asked from this topic is Satyagraha has a strategy in the Indian national movement. This question is asked in 2015. The next question that is asked is critically examine the radical humanist perspective on Indian national movement. This question is asked in 2016. The success of Mahatma Gandhi lay in transforming both political and non-political movements into a unified nationalist movement. This question is asked in 2017. The next question is differentiate modern nationalism from extremist militant nationalism in terms of their objectives and means. This question is asked in 2017. Next question, explain how present movements prompted nationalist ideas during the struggle for Indian independence. This question is asked in 2014. The last question from this topic is Marxist understanding of India's freedom movement. This is asked in 2013. Likewise, here we can see that starting from 2013 to 2017, every year one question is asked. And in 2017, there were two questions. So this is very important topic. Now, the next topic is making of the Indian Constitution. In last 5 years, there is no question from this section. Now, the next topic is salient features of the Indian Constitution. This is another important topic that here you can see every year one or two questions being asked from this section. This topic is further categorized as the preamble, fundamental rights and duties, directive principles, parliamentary system and amendment procedures, judicial review and basic structure doctrine. So, by just looking the number of questions from this topic, we can say that this is very important, not only for your optional subject that is political science and international relations, but also for the GS purpose. So prepare it thoroughly. Now check out the questions from this section. The questions that is asked from the preamble as significance of the preamble. It is asked in 2013. In 2015, again a question is asked from the preamble, that is Secularism in the Indian Constitution. In 2015, another question is asked from this topic is, in the light of new economic policies adopted since 1991, examine the relevance of the term socialist in the preamble of the Indian Constitution. The next section is fundamental rights and duties. The questions that is asked from this section is, analyze the significance of Article 32 of the Indian Constitution. This question is asked in 2013. The next question is, what are the provisions for constitutional protection of right to freedom of religion and how far have they succeeded in promoting secularism in India? This question is asked in 2014. The next question is, discuss the right to education and the concerns raised by it. This is asked in 2015. The next question from the fundamental rights and duties is, right to privacy is an intrinsic part of the right to life. This is asked in 2017. The next subtopic is Directive Principles. The questions those are asked from this section are, increasingly higher focus on directive principles of state policy. This is asked in 2014. The next question is, the purpose of the 42nd Constitutional Amendment was to make the economic and social democracy explicitly visible. This is asked in 2016. The next question is, critically examine the provision made in the Constitution for the protection of environment. This is asked in 2016. So there are two questions from Directive Principles in 2016. The next subtopic is Parliamentary System, and the questions are, decline of Indian Parliament. This is asked in 2013. Next question is, differentiate parliamentary supremacy from parliamentary sovereignty. Would you consider the Indian Parliament as a sovereign parliament? Examine. This question is asked in 2017. The next subtopic is amendment procedures. The questions are, 99th Amendment of the Indian Constitution. This is asked in 2015. Next question is, Article 368 doesn't enable Parliament to alter the basic structure or framework of the Constitution. It is asked in 2016. The next subtopic is judicial review, and the question is asked, discuss the efficacy of judicial review in India. This question is asked in 2015. The last subtopic of this section is basic structure doctrine. The question is, examine the significance of the verdicts of the Supreme Court in the Golaknath and Keshavanand Bharati cases for an understanding of the scope of Article 368 in regard to fundamental rights. This question is asked in 2013. Next topic is principal organs of the Union government. This is another important topic. So the questions those are asked from this topic are, examine the role of Supreme Court as the final interpreter of the Indian Constitution. This question is asked in 2013. How is the President of India elected? Outline the salient characteristics of the Electoral College of the Indian President. This question is asked in 2017. Examine the debates on the appointment procedure of judges to the higher judiciary in India. This is asked in 2014. Next question is, judiciary has acquired the role of both a legislature and an executive in recent years. Examine with suitable examples. This question is asked in 2017. Now, the next topic is principal organs of the state government. The questions those are asked from this topic are: critically analyze the discretionary powers granted to the governor by the Indian Constitution. It is asked in 2015. Next question is: critically examine the role of governor in recent times. This question is asked in 2016. The next topic is Grassroots Democracy, and the subtopics are Panchayati Raj and Municipal Government. The questions from this section are: explain how the participation of women impacted the functioning of rural local bodies in India, 2014. Examine the role of Panchayati Raj institution and urban local bodies in deepening of democracy in India. This question is asked in 2015. The next subtopic is significance of the 73rd and 74th Amendments. Question is: examine the changing structure of Panchayati Raj institutions with a special reference to the 73rd Constitution Amendment Act. It is asked in 2013. Has the 73rd Constitutional Amendment empowered women in panchayats in India? Discuss. This question is asked in 2017. The next subtopic is Grassroot Movements. The questions from this section is asked, that is, the goal of good governance will be achieved only by strengthening the grassroots level democracy. It is asked in 2016. Next topic is statutory institutions commissions. So there are many commissions under this topic. So let's check out the questions asked from each commission separately. Starting with the Election Commission. Discuss the nature of reforms of the electoral process in India and explain the further scope for reforms. This question is asked in 2014. Next subtopic is Comptroller and Auditor General. The question is the role of the Comptroller and Auditor General of India in promoting good governance. It is asked in 2014. Next subtopics are Finance Commission and Union Public Service Commission. In last 5 years, there is no question from this two sections. The next subtopic is National Commission for Scheduled Castes. The question is: discuss the working of the National Commission for Scheduled Castes to curb violence against Dalits. This question is asked in 2014. The next two subtopics, that is National Commission for Scheduled Tribes and National Commission for Women. There is no question in last 5 years from these two sections. The next subtopic is the National Human Rights Commission. The question from this subtopic is: examine the objective and role of the National Human Rights Commission. It is asked in 2016. Next subtopic is National Commission for Minorities. The question that is asked, that is, examine the role of the National Commission for Minorities in preserving, promoting, and protecting the rights of minorities in India. This question is asked in 2017. The last subtopic, that is National Backward Classes Commission. There is no question in last 5 years from this subtopic. Next topic is Federalism. This is another important topic that you need to focus upon. The questions from these sections are: cooperative federalism produces a strong central or general government. It doesn't necessarily result in weak provincial governments that are largely administrative agencies for central policies. Indian Federation has demonstrated this. Granville Austin. Examine the uniqueness of Indian federalism in the light of the above statement. This question is asked in 2013. Next question is cooperative federalism in India. It is asked in 2015. Next question is Indian Federation has moved from cooperative federation to competitive federation. This question is asked in 2017. The next subtopic is changing nature of central-state relations. The questions those are asked from this subtopic are identify the contested areas in central-state relation in India. It is asked in 2015. The next question is the philosophy and administration of the distribution of powers between central and state is required to be reassessed. This is asked in 2016. The subtopic integrationist tendencies and regional aspirations and interstate dispute. There is as such no questions from these two subtopics in last 5 years. The next topic is planning and economic development. The questions those are asked from this topic are Gandhian perspective of development and its contemporary relevance. It is asked in 2013. Next question, that is compare the Nehruvian and Gandhian models of development. It is asked in 2015. The next subtopic, that is role of planning and public sector. There is no question from this subtopic. The next subtopic is Green Revolution, land reforms and agrarian relations. The questions those are asked from this subtopic are critically examine the politics of economic growth in India. It is asked in 2016. Next question, that is land reforms have failed in the eradication of rural poverty. Comment. It is asked in 2016. What do you understand by Green Revolution? Do you think that a second Green Revolution is needed to adequately address the agrarian challenges in contemporary India? Examine. This question is asked in 2017. The next subtopic is liberalization and economic reforms. The only question from this subtopic is asked in 2015. That is a structure and function of Niti Aayog. Next topic is caste, religion and ethnicity in Indian politics. This is another important topic because the number of questions those are asked from this topic is very frequent. Starting from 2013 to 2017, every year questions are being asked from this topic. So let's check out the questions. Explain the phenomena of ethnic politics in India in recent times. Asked in 2013. Relation between ethnicity and democracy in India. Asked in 2014. Identity politics has trumped development politics in India. Comment. 2015. Cultural and regional differences are the enduring basis on which politics is played out in India. 2016. Comment on the emergence of backward classes in the Indian politics. 2016. Religion is still an important factor in Indian politics. Discuss. Asked in 2017. The next topic is party system. The questions from its subtopic, that is national and regional political parties, are explain to what extent the concept of one party dominance. W.H. Morris Jones' model is relevant in Indian policy today. Asked in 2013. Next question, that is account for the rise of regional political parties and assess their role in contemporary India. It is asked in 2015. The next subtopic, that is ideological and social basis of parties. The question is marginalization of the left ideology in India, asked in 2014. The next subtopic is patterns of coalition politics. The questions are: analyze the position of the Prime Minister of India in a coalition regime. It is asked in 2013. Next question is: discuss the pattern of political parties from one dominant party system to coalition politics in national politics. It is asked in 2016. The next question is: India has moved from one party dominant system to one party led coalition. Discuss. It is asked in 2017. The next subtopic is pressure groups. The question is: explain how pressure groups have been influencing public policy making with suitable illustrations. The question is asked in 2014. The subtopic: trends in electoral behavior. There is as such no question in last 5 years. The next subtopic is changing socio-economic profile of legislators. The question is account for the changes in the socio-economic profile of legislators during last 1 decade in India. This question is asked in 2014. The next topic is social movements. The subtopic: civil liberties and human rights movements. The question from the subtopic civil liberties and human rights movements is the dilemmas of the human rights movements in India. It is asked in 2014. The next subtopic is women's movements. The questions are: point out and comment on the historic importance of the document towards equality 1974 for women's movement in India. It is asked in 2013. The next question is: examine the scope and limitations of women's movements in India, asked in 2014. The next subtopic is environmentalist movements. The question that is asked from this topic is: compare and contrast Chipko movement with Narmada Bachao Andolan. That is asked in 2013. Likewise, if we take glimpse of this syllabus, there is hardly any topic that is not touched by UPSC in terms of asking the questions. So, you cannot escape any topic. Besides, we also provide comprehensive study materials of political science and international relations. Our study material is unique not only in terms of content but also in terms of presentation, as it is presented through maps, images, graphs, and tables. On top of this, we provide political science study materials in black and white as well as in color print at the printing cost only. Interestingly, if you want to buy only one part of study material, you can buy that accordingly. You can buy one part or two parts or complete study materials depending upon your requirement. The price structure is given in detail in the following table. However, if you want to buy our study materials, you may contact us at the given number, or else you may email us on the given email ID.